What is up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with a brand new deck profile. I'm bringing you guys a list of the deck that I used to take first place at my first local event of the Maximum Crisis format. Now, quick caveat, this is not a deck I would recommend net decking. This is just something where I went, right, I'm probably going to play a lot of uninspiring meta decks across this coming format. I have one locals, and then I'm busy all the way up until my nationals. I'd like to try and at least play Lightsworn, because Lightsworn is what I've been playing for the entirety of last format. Literally every event I attended, Minerva, Exalted Lightsworn remained in my deck. So I wanted to play Zoo, I wanted to play the Zoo combo, I wanted to play True Kings, and of course Masterpiece, but I already had a 60 card deck. So essentially, I took a 60 card Lightsworn Zombie Zoo deck, the likes of which you've seen at a fair few events, and similar to the list being played by Asian Persuasion and Simply Slim, people like that. And I had to put 15 more cards into it. So there are a lot of cards, there are a lot of engines where I've literally thinned everything down in this deck to what I feel is the minimum count. This is 60 cards. Goodness knows it could easily be 80 cards, and if you guys want to make changes, you honestly can. There are probably certain cards that can come out or ratios that can be changed. There are a lot of engines in here that are struggling for space, and if you think that one engine doesn't belong in here, well, there's your answer. You can take it out and you can change your ratios there. Similarly with the extra deck, this is the tightest extra deck I think I've ever built. 15, 5 more in the side deck for changing for certain matchups that honestly, some of which I think should be in the main board, but we'll get into that as well. But I'm going to move into the list. My battery life is kind of at half now, but this camera is really temperamental, so it's more than likely that it will run out. So let's just jump into the list. So to start off with the Lightsworns, normally I would play 6, but in this list, I played 2 Raiden, 2 Wolf, and 1 Arcus. I considered going to 3 Wolf, 2 Raiden, but the Arcus was too important because I'm still playing the solar recharges. However, given the fact that the deck is so packed, a lot of the time Arcus and the 2 solar recharges were things that I sided out. Honestly, Raiden is just in here as one of your enablers. Wolf is in here as admittedly a good card for Minerva to mill, but I more used it off of Brilliant Fusion if I already had access to a Snow, things like that. It gives more power to your Grassy Screeners because a lot more people are playing 40 card decks in the format now, so this was it. And a lot, I must confess, I made a meta call in that a lot of people at my local events haven't gotten access to Ash Blossom yet, so I was able to use my Grassy Screeners without fear. Moving on into the later format, I would encourage putting Gammas in this deck to negate those Ashes, but honestly, there's literally no room for Gammas in my mind at the moment, so it was a bit of a blessing that I'm playing this at the start of the format. But this was the Lightsworn engine, didn't really have too much of a problem with it. Admittedly, going down to 2 Wolf is sad, but it also meant that I drew Wolf less. So 5 Lightsworn monsters, just to be able to keep Lightsworn in the name of the deck, make the Minerva worth playing, other than just as a tool to feed my Snows. For the zombie complement, which I think was absolutely invaluable, can you imagine Zoo True King, which is already a good enough deck in and of itself, also being able to put 2 Omegas on the board? Well, I recorded duels for 3 of my 4 rounds. You can see how this deck worked, and it was pretty crazy, some of the boards it could chalk out. So 2 Unizombie, 3 Shiranui Solitaire, 1 Spirit Master, going down to the 1 Spirit Master now. It wasn't that much of a problem, except when you didn't see this. I mean, Spirit Master has always been really good because it loans a lot of power to Snow, but because you're already playing True King of All Calamities and Trident, Snow's already good enough in and of itself alongside those cards without needing the Spirit Master as well, but there were a couple of situations where the Spirit Master really did lend himself to making boards completely impenetrable. And then the only other 3 cards I played were 1 Mizuki and 1 Gozuki. Sorry, 3 Mizukis, 1 Gozuki for the zombie engine. I wish I could play more Gozuki. Definitely a card that I feel needs to go to 2 in the list. But for the moment, that was all I had for the zombie complement, other than 2 other zombies, which I think are invaluable, which we'll get to in a bit. Something that's easily up for debate is I played 3 copies of Predaplant Orphis Scorpio and 1 copy of Darlingtonia Cobra. These were in here because I was loaning my Terratops to my girlfriend, who was also at the locals, and I didn't manage to get new Terratops in it in time. So I played these, I had these in my deck just in case I couldn't find them, and these are actually really, really good. There's some point, counterpoint. This guy's really bad in situations where your opponent has hand traps. Again, it was advantageous that I was playing in a format where not many people had Ash, because this card was a lot more likely to resolve. And when this resolves, it gets you essentially a Zoodiac combo and a Brilliant Fusion, so it gets all of your engines online. Absolutely phenomenal. All gets you an instant fusion so you can go into bigger combos there. Really, really useful in those regards. Bad part is if this gets negated, you've just used your normal summon and it's a level 3, and you don't have very much level 3 recursion from your hand or from your graveyard. So you're pretty much ending your turn with just that Darlingtonia Cobra, which is great. So it was good given the meta, but moving forward, I think that Terratop is a definite shoo-in. But at the same time, it's so good to be able to search your Brilliant Fusions. So I mean, that's where that's at. So moving into the Zoo complement, again, engines were completely thinned down as best we could. We only played 4 Zoo monsters, in the form of 2 Zoodiac Rapier, 1 Zoodiac Ram, and 1 Zoodiac Whiptail. Again, engine was really, really tight. This is honestly all you needed to at least get your single Emerald combo. As you will see with the size of the extra deck, there's not enough room to start playing your double Emerald, double substitute combos. There's just no room for all of that stuff. So just the 1 Whiptail, the 1 Ram, the 2 Rapier is all you will need for this engine, which again, if you want to see how any of the plays are demonstrated, I'm not going to put them in this video. You can just go watch the Duel videos that I'm going to upload later on in the week, because honestly, I win a fair few dice rolls and I make some absolutely ridiculous boards. For the True King and True Draco element, we played the 1 Masterpiece. This is just in there as the obnoxious Masterpiece because of the fact that you play Barrage, you play Brilliant Fusions, which will stick around on the board after the even after the Seraphonite has died. The ability to summon this out of nowhere is so good. So the 1 Masterpiece, just to be obnoxious and be Clyfort Towers. I then played 1 Bastaros, 1 Mariamne, and 2 Lithogasm, or Lithosagam. This is honestly the best, the smallest, that I could get this engine without it clogging. And if you mill one of these cards, you basically can't make the play, which is why it's handy to have certain cards like Emerald and one other card we'll talk about in a minute. This is kind of as small as the engine can get to make a VFD with the Zephyros combo. But that was the True King element. For the other kind of etc. cards, of course, we played 3 Fairy Tale Snow. This was the main reason I wanted to play the deck. I wanted to play the Zoo True King deck, but also have access to Fairy Tale Snow, and this has given me access to it. So the 3 Fairy Tale Snow. Going forward, I haven't really looked into Pittsburgh too much yet, but I did see that someone topped the event with kind of a Zoo True King deck playing Brilliant Fusion just in the deck. So I might honestly have to do that going forwards, because I feel like Fairy Tale Snow is just such a good card that you really want to try and avoid taking her out if you can help it. Moving on to 2 of the, honestly, the most random, but possibly some of the best cards I played on the day, were 2 copies of Necroface. Necroface was really, really interesting, because basically this deck has so many different engines that all can really time out quite quickly, and they can really burn out quite quickly. And what Necroface does was it meant that I could banish, my banishments with Snow took me so much longer to work out, because I was always having to banish things that I wanted to try and put back in my deck to turn on certain engines again, put back half my extra deck, because my extra deck was so tight. There were certain one-offs that I really wanted to try and put back as often as possible. So the Necrofaces were really, really important in that, and that did happen. I'm not sure if it happened on video, but I'm pretty sure there's a video situation where the Necroface puts back, like, you can see me banishing important engine cards to then put back into my deck. So the Necroface is really, really cool. The Blackwing, Zephyros the Elite, you'll be able to see the 4 Strix combo, and I think the 4 Strix combo deck topped Pittsburgh as well, so that's probably out there already. But there's a cool combo with this. If you can just make a 4 Strix and have Diagram, that's an instant VFD in this deck. So again, you'll see it on the video. And if you mill this, you don't even need to make the 4 Strix, as long as this is online and you can destroy a card. Like, you've got that play. Lunalight Black Sheep for the combo, and the 1 Gem Knight Garnet, which I still drew. Drawing it in the 60 card deck is unfortunate, but it happens. But that's it. I played no hand traps. There's no room. Honestly, there's no room. You have Snow. You have a lot of resources in the deck, so you can actually beat some boards that you're faced with. Some of the Zoodiac boards, especially just a Dryden, is so easy to beat with this deck. So you have so many good cards, so many good spells, that honestly a Dryden's pretty easy to topple. But Masterpiece is admittedly a problem. That's why we have cards that we side for it. But it's pretty bad game one. For the spells, Soul Charge, Substitute, and Foolish Burial were my one-offs. No room for 2 Substitute, no room in the extra deck to make that combo kind of go further. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how the big combos work yet. I haven't had enough time to learn them, so I played 1, cut my losses at being able to just make 1 Emerald. That'll do. For 2 ofs, I played 2 Charge Elect Brigade, 2 Solar Recharge, just the standard milling and drawing engine, and then 2 Terraforming. The terraformings, of course, were to search the now infamous 3 copies of Dragonic Diagram. Again, it gives you instant access to Masterpiece, gives you access to the True King combos. Diagram, it's just a really, really good card. It's even better in this deck because you can use it to blow up things like Zephyros in hand, Mizuki in hand, Fairy Tale Snow in hand, just get more good cards into the graveyard that you couldn't normally do. 3 copies of Zoodiac Barrage. Making the Zoodiac combo off of normal summoning a rat is already great enough as it is. Imagine being able to do that combo and still have your normal summon. That's what Barrage is to me in this deck. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion. Again, it's a snow enabler, gives you an extra normal summon. It wasn't actually that good in this deck now because there's a little less focus on normal summons and a little more focus on just your 1 Zoodiac play anyway, followed by usually a True King play. But the 3 Brilliant Fusion were still pretty great. 3 Instant Fusion, just Norden Abuse. There's not much more to say there. And 3 copies of That Grass Looks Greener. I was really happy today, not today, it was yesterday. I was really happy yesterday because someone asked me why I wasn't playing Left Arm Offering, and I simply had to say to them Ash Blossom, and just immediately it was like, oh yeah, Left Arm Offering is terrible now if you don't have Gamma. Literally, I never want to be in a situation where I go -3 to an Ash Blossom. That was my answer. So 3 copies of Grass Looks Greener. If I draw it, I draw it. If I don't, it's really not too much of a problem. You almost always want to resolve it after you've made your big plays anyway, or it's just an alternative win condition. So for the extra deck, Time Wizard token, because, I don't know, maybe tokens will be relevant. Tokens are actually relevant with Jurassic World rolling around. 1 Minerva. I honestly hardly made her and Bujinte Kagetsuchi have kind of seen their time come and go. You more put your rank 4 situations into making your Zoodiac combo happen because the advantage that it gives you and the fact that you really just want to try and dig for the Zoo combo so that you can open with a Trident and a VFD. So these 2 have kind of seen their time. You can honestly take the Kagetsuchi or the Minerva out, especially pre-reprint on the Minerva. You can definitely cut her. I feel like you can get away with that. But these 2 are just important to have for the snow food, and they're important in the grind game. I just kind of got lucky in that I really never had to play a hard grind game. So there was those 2. Then for the Zoo complement, the 1 Trident. This is kind of as small of an engine as I could get it. 1 Trident, 2 Broad Ball, 1 Chakanine, and 1 Tiger Mortar. That's literally as small as you can get this engine in this deck, in my opinion, to actually get your advantage combos going. And I liked it. It was really, really good. Never had a problem with that. So that's the Zoo complement. The Raid Raptor 4 Strix for the combo that I've talked about. This is really, really dumb. I'm glad I've managed to pick one up. Daigusto Emerald for your rotating your resources. X-Saber Invoker and a True King of All Calamities. Just standard good stuff. Opening this, by the way, is actually the single best thing you can do going first, because even if they have a board clear, they're basically not making their combo because you're just chaining this effect. Unless they have Chalice or a way to stop the effect, you will more than likely have the resources the next turn to then blow your opponent out, even if they have a hard board clear like Raigeki. Which again, I'm almost certain happens in one of the YouTube videos. I know that I got Raigeki'd at least once. Then for the fusions, I played 1 Nord and 1 Seraphinite, the standard duo, and then the only synchros I had room for were 2 Omegas. I felt like going into game 1, the synchros I wanted were just my Omegas, and then I would side deck into everything else that I would require. So that was the 15 card extra deck. It's ridiculously tight, so honestly the Minerva and the Kagetsuchi might be worth taking out. But I just kind of want to keep them in there. So for the extras for the side deck, you can see that I side decked 5 extra deck cards and 10 main deck cards. So I side decked 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. This was my dorky idea for the mirror match, the True King matchup. Anything else that's playing a field spell, it's just another easy way to get me into my Dragonic Diagram. So Ancient Fairy Dragon was in there for that. One Black Rose Dragon for blowout against things like heavy trap decks, heavy control decks. It was, at the end of the day, it was a locals, so I didn't know what I was going to come up against, and Black Rose has just always been an important card for those rogue matchups, in my opinion, just to give me that free advantage. Usually summonable from the graveyard because of your Mizukis and your Uni-Zombies. BLs for the True King matchup for dealing with Masterpiece. Abyss Dweller for any graveyard-oriented decks or the Mirror Match. And Tornado Dragon for... Honestly, I put this in against Zoodiac a lot of the time. Just anything with back row, anything with diagrams or barrages that I wanted to stop. So those were the cards that I wished I could have extra decked, but I just really didn't have the space. I then played 2 copies of Denko Sekka. Came in clutch against Paleozoic. You'll see I have like a 3-minute Paleozoic game 2. Raigeki Double Dark Hole, board clears, again, Zoodiac. 2 Cosmic Cyclone, I only own 2, but there was only really room in the side for 2 anyway. And for going first game 2, I kind of wanted to make my plays even better and play the old school rack combo, so I played 3 copies of Lullaby of Obedience, because everyone's back to playing Zoodiac at the moment. I'd honestly continue playing this as a pretty trollsy card, so 3 Lullaby of Obedience is something that I'm going to continue to play. So that brings me to the end of the deck list. Overall, really quite enjoyed playing this deck. I have another deck concept that I've come up with that I want to show you guys as well, which I'll be posting fairly shortly. But for the moment, this is going to be up. This is going to be the deck that I'm playing for fun for a little while until I eventually switch to something a bit more meta, tried and tested. But maybe we'll try and innovate this a little bit more, try and rejig the ratios in this 60-card brick. But otherwise, I hope you've all enjoyed. I've been Jamie the Kid 00 as per usual. Leave me some feedback in the comment section down below. Leave me a like if you just plain enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more of the same, or the Duel videos I talked about that are coming after this one. And share this with your friends if you think they'd be interested in the video. Otherwise, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.